Can you see this?
Did you okay?
Mm-hmm.
I guess it doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah, we actually have. It's just people come in the last night, but we have plenty of time. Yeah, we do.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning on Zoom. It's good to see you. Hi, Dory. We have Professor Jesse in the back leading on Zoom. So it's really nice to have everyone here this morning. If you are coming in, if you will take empty seats towards the front, rather than grab those empty seats right there in the back. So there's empty seats everywhere.
Yep.
So we're trying to fill up spaces rather than have a tiny group. So,
We have a spot here, Patty.
Tori, if we need that group, you'll go to the back. Yeah.
Like there's a lot of spots over
But there's a lot of spots up here. So we're online and we're on YouTube, so if I could have everyone's attention really quickly.
I'll sit over here.
Okay, so good morning. Today is our Circle Care Sunday. We're going to be talking about peace in our community and what that means to us individually and collectively. And I'm hopeful that it will be encouraging and disturbing.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't that, then why are we doing this, right? And for those of you online, I'm really super happy to see you this morning. It's great to have you. Debbie Ann is your leadership chair, council chair, and so she's going to do a few announcements real quick.
Yes, I am. Hello. Happy Sunday. Okay, little housekeeping first. If you are parked behind someone, you can get a card from the welcome team and put your name and phone number so that we can alert you if you need to move your car. And also, if you have a cell phone with you, does anybody have cell phones? I mean, not really anymore. If you have that cell phone, please silence it so that you're not interrupted. Okay, and yep, we're moving on. Annual meeting. Directly after service today is the annual meeting. You get to hear what we've all been up to, and that includes all of the teams here in this beloved community, financial, everything. So it's going to be after you eat. Just come back. We're going to set the chairs up as usual, and you'll come back and hear all about what's going on. AIF is starting Adventures in Faith, and we are doing a book on joy by Desmond Tutu and the Dalai Lama. And in the entryway to the sanctuary, there are boards. So if you've already signed up, you've been assigned to a group. If you have not been signed up, you can sign up today. And the groups are all on clipboards. Janice and Berta will be there after service to assist you. We have groups on Zoom and we have groups in person. All groups in person are in this building. And the first, we start this series the first full week of October. So it's not this coming week, but the week after.
Did you talk about the sheets at the front of the room?
I did.
I was not paying attention, obviously.
Yep. Sheets in the front on the clipboards. Janice and Berta will assist you. And that's as well as if you want to make changes to the group that you're already in if the time doesn't work for you. And also, yes, Lorraine. Is it free? It's a love offering. Thank you, Lorraine.
Oh, one more question. Where do we get the book?
Oh, you have to order the book yourself online. I got mine on Amazon. Yeah, and it's called The Book of Joy.
If you do order it on Amazon and they only send you the large print, well, you know, it's just fun to read.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
3 big prints, so
Yeah.
anybody want one, please talk to me.
Yeah, it's helpful because I can read without my glasses. So, okay, and we have a fundraising team starting up. Janice is going to be a lead in the fundraising team.
She's over here if you didn't see her.
Yes. We are going to boost up our financial health, and Janice and her team are going to set us on that road. So see Janice if you're interested interested in being part of the fundraising team. Okay, next we have 15 commitments. So October 8th, we've got 2 great groups. We're going to do Play and Rest with Eileen Davis and Keith Watanabe. That sounds fun. I want to do a lot of both of those, Play and Rest. And then we're going to talk about Enough. So we come and find out what Enough is. Reverend Veronica and Lorraine Urbina are going to facilitate that journey. So looking forward to both of those. And now my thank yous. I love this time. The board gets to thank all the wonderful things going on in our community and the people that step up. So today we have wonderful ushers ushering everything in. Florette, Terry, Janet, and Donna. Thank you for welcoming. And yes, and another great opportunity to serve is the welcome team. I want to thank Jesse. Last week, if you were here for Jesse's talk, it was amazing. Yeah. Thank you, Jesse. Now, we had a lot of little things going on, little projects this week. There were a lot of them. We had people that came in and cleaned out the closets and all those spaces, and that's kind of a thankless job, so we're going to thank them here and now. So that was, let's see, Janice, Tori, Diane, Janet, Janine, lots of people doing closet stuff. Yeah. And I don't know if you've noticed, but we had some painting done. So behind me, there was some painting. Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
The painting, and we also put, I shouldn't say carpet was put on the platform, which helps with sound. So that was done. So a lot of people here to do that. The painting was done by Melissa and Janine. Melissa's here. Yeah. All-day project. Janine's on her way, so be sure you thank her. Reverend Bobbi did the whole carpet thing. And with who? John?
Tori.
John. Yeah, just a lot of work, just taking care of our community, our buildings. So thank you so much to everybody that stepped up this week. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So if you have questions, if you've been here for a while and you go, why in the world did they paint it after service? Is that fair enough? There is a reason. So it isn't just because, I didn't like that color. There's a reason we did that. So we are absolutely, I'm willing to answer any question with respect to what we did up there. And if you want to see why in the big way, go over and look at the camera in the back and you'll see that your minister now shows up on camera. Versus before, I faded into the white because I'm the color of the moon. So that's part of it. So very grateful. Beautiful as the moon. We'll keep you around. Okay, so today, just real quick, the reason we wanted to fill the groups up too, because it really is nice to have a group of at least 6 to 10 people per group. So if you were asked not to sit in the back of the room, that's why. So if we get more folks, we'll fill that group up, and Tori will move back there and facilitate, because that's what she does best. I know. All right, so we're going to do what's called our care model. And our care model is something that we practice. And a big part of that practice is so that we, in essence, embody peace. And I'm going to talk about what peace is, and I'm going to talk about what peace isn't later. And then you get to explore what peace is. So the care model allows us to do one thing that's most critical in our community, and that is first to care for one another. If we don't care for one another, we can teach tools, we can teach all sorts of things, but if we don't care for one another, how's that going to feel after a while? Ryan, go ahead and pick an empty chair somewhere. And anyone would love you. Absolutely, absolutely. So the care model allows us to do a few things, and you have a sheet on your chair or under your seat if you moved it. And so the care covenant, which is something that we have agreed to do in this community, is I agree to listen and be present and not try to fix or give advice. Who's guilty of that? Me. Do it all the time. Do it all the time. I agree to bring my best love and attention to whatever or whomever is before me, including and especially myself. That is especially in sharing. This is really has a lot to do when we're sharing in a group. I agree to practice non-judgment. Just practice, right? That's all I get to do is practice over and over and over and get to see myself in it. I agree to love and accept myself and others as they are. What would that look like in a world? Oh, can't you feel that? I agree to stay in the present, the now moment of power. By the way, it's the only moment of power. Guess what happens when I'm in the past?
Regret.
Oh, mostly. Guess what happens when we're in the future? Thank you. Wow, you guys are good. I use as my guide. If it is loving, if it grows, expands, or deepens love, it's the right thing to do. Now, we make mistakes all the time. Is that okay?
Yes.
Good enough. In spiritual community, that's all we get to practice, is good enough. Not perfection, but good enough. So really quickly, this is what we're going to do in your groups. Pick a partner right now. No, don't hesitate. Just pick one. Easiest would be next to you. Okay?
Can you hear me?
All right. You done? You done? Great. Now, what I'd like you to do is share a word of good. Now, you literally have 1 minute to do this. Do not tell the whole story of why you're good. We'd love to hear it later. So maybe it's something like this. What am I feeling today?
Dory, can you hear me?
I'm
Yes, I
feeling
can.
freedom. Why am I feeling freedom? Because I'm good enough. That's what you're going to share. Ready? Go. Okay. You're good, right? Word of good, done? Cheating with spouses. Just cheating, seriously. All right, you ready? Do you feel cut off? Sort of? Yeah, kind of. That's part of the deal today. We're going to just experiment a little bit. So do you have any heaviness of heart, or hardness of head today in the way of being here? See the last sentence? Not that I brought in heaviness of heart or hardness of head. I carry that around with me all the time. Don't I? Sure. All the time. The question is there anything in the way of being here today? And if there is, tell your partner. If there isn't, you just say, good enough. Ready? You get 30 seconds, not the whole story. Can you hear me? Okay. So it's probably you can read my lips too. Yes. Heaviness of heart or hardness of head in the way today. Anything in the way today? In the way of being present. If not, good enough. Good enough? Okay, you've had your 30 seconds. So if you could have one word of prayer today, is there any heaviness of heart here today?
Yes, we have one person.
What's the word? What word would you like to feel? Adventure. How about this group? Good enough? This group back here? Good.
One exception.
What's the word you would like to feel today? Let him come up with it on his own.
Positivity.
Huh?
Positivity.
Positivity. You want to feel positive. Word, anything here today? You're exhausted, so you'd like to feel energized? What about back here? Focus.
Colossalness.
Okay. You'd like to feel recovered? Okay. So I'm going to give a prayer and I'm going to open up our day today. Would that be okay? Okay. Will you trust me on what my prayer is? And if I miss the mark, then you can ask me afterwards. But if I miss the mark, so try to find something in the prayer that sources that, right? So I know there's only God. God we call the action of the universe. It is the one. It is all. Everything is part of it. It is whole. It is complete. There is nothing wrong with it. There is nothing to fix. There is nothing to change. Imagine I am one with it. I know the same is true for each person in this room and on this Zoom. So what I know is I am adventure. I have courage to be that which I want to be. There is nothing in me in the way, and I deny anything in the way for that adventure to show. I am good enough. Good enough. Which means positive is I am complete and whole right now. Not having to be anything else but this, right here, right now. Within me is rest. And I rest in that breath right now, knowing that exhaustion is but a feeling. So I will feel in this moment breath and rest in that breath. Colossal. I am divine. I am fantastic because I am divine. There is nothing in the way of being colossal anyway, because the very fact that I was born gives me that divine inheritance. I do not need to recover because I am whole, and so I deny the need to recover and allow myself to be human and divine. And I express that today by that breath. That breath reminds me that all is well in this moment. So I take this blessing and allow it to be that which is spoken for all here, myself including. And I let go and I let God. And so it is. Amen. Thank you for being here. Oh, no clap intended, but thank you. You guys did that. See, we don't do it by ourselves, do we, Lauren? No, we don't ever do that by ourselves. So today is about peace. I'm excited to talk about peace because I want peace to be over this month. I know this about peace, about any topic that I bring forward or have to discuss, and anybody who speaks up here knows that. Whatever you decide is what you're going to talk about, you are going to experience everything unlike it. Now, I used to think that I'm drawing more of what isn't. No, I'm actually seeing more of what isn't. I mean, I'm powerful, but I can't draw the entire world to me. I am the world. I am part of the world. I'm part of the experience. And so everything out there that I see that isn't peace, I am very aware of all of a sudden. Now, what do I want to put out there? So in our community, one of the things that we have been exploring is this idea of waking up, growing up, cleaning up, showing up, and opening up. Today's about cleaning up. Today's about cleaning up. I'm cleaning up too. So anytime you hear me say anything up there, I'm cleaning up too. Okay, I'm doing my work too. That's just part of the deal. So we're going to talk a little bit about peace, and here's some of the things that we're going to talk about peace. What does peace mean to us as individuals and as a community? I got to tell you right now, this is an important topic. Does anybody know what's happening in about a month and a week? And between now and then? The opportunity to be what we need to be. Is this in the way? A little bit? So, how do spiritual beliefs inform our understanding of peace? That's a big one. How do we see ourselves as peace? Why is peace important in creating a harmonious community? And when I say harmonious, I do not mean without conflict. Harmony is like balance. It does this, doesn't it? It never just stays like this. I mean, I could try, but it doesn't work. I cannot force it. I get to be in it, and I get to feel in it. So what is it we bring, and how is it our spiritual principles inform that? How can we create peace intentionally? And by the way, in case you're wondering, I don't know the answers to any of these, except for myself. Sometimes. And sometimes not. It's just the way it is. But how do we cultivate and sustain peace? We have to do that collectively and in agreement. And when I say agreement, not every point in agreement, but we have to agree when we sit down what peace is. And how that agreement may work is, I am open to your idea of peace. Are you open to my idea of peace? And we get to just have that dialogue. We may not agree, right? Okay. So in times the appearance, I would say, of division and uncertainty, peace within our community becomes really essential, not as a lofty idea, but peace is a lived experience. It is a lived experience. It is not something that is, it is something, well, it's something we are, but it is something we practice the more we understand and know about it. So our theme of the year is We Rise Together. So the point of it is, we do this together, or we do it apart. Is anyone else hot? Janice, would you please do that over there, and Terry, because everyone else just stay seated. You guys are so helpful. You all want to come up with a great idea, right? Save that creativity. Save it. So today we're going to engage in some meaningful discussion. We're going to reflect on spiritual principles, and we're going to explore some practical ways to enhance peace. That means we're going to talk. And anytime I talk with someone, I have to be open. I mean, that's kind of the deal. And the more open I am and the more open I can be, the more you and I can have a dialogue that allows for the greater creativity, because one of the things we said we were going to do in this community was to hospice old ideas. Hospice old ideas. And in order to hospice old ideas, we must be willing and open to not knowing that there is no right or wrong. But if we show up with an open heart and open mind, we can come up with amazing ideas. But if we show up with, this is how it's got to be, this is the only way it's got to be, and I'm going to use this color back here for a second. You may not like this color, but it's just because you don't like the color. That's it. Some people love the color, some people don't like the color. That's not why we painted it. But do you understand what I mean? We are part of a community that seeks to be open so that we can grow. And if we can do that here, we can practice that out there. So before we get into peace, so how many of you are really nervous to talk about peace now? All right, yeah, thank you for being honest. I'm kind of nervous too. So John is going to play a little video that I think that will at least get us inspired. One of the most inspiring people I know is the kid president. So John's going to play that video, and we're going to get a little inspired. I'm going to step out of the way.
I think we all need a pep talk. The world needs to stop being boring. Yeah, you. Boring is easy. Everybody can be boring, but you're gooder than that. Life is not a game, people. Life isn't a cereal either. Well, it is a cereal. And if life is a game, are we on the same team? I mean, really, right? I'm on your team. You're my team. This is life, people. You got air coming through your nose. You got heartbeat. That means it's time to do something. A poem. Two roads diverged in the woods, and I took the road less traveled. It hurt, man! Really bad. Rocks, thorns, and glass. My parts broke. Not cool, Robert Frost. But what if there really were two paths? I want to be the one that leads to awesome. It's like that dude Journey said, don't stop believing, unless you dream stupid. Then you should get a better dream. I think that's how it goes. Get a better dream and keep going. Keep going, and keep going. Let Michael Jordan have quit. Well, he didn't quit. No, he retired. Yeah, that's he retired. But before that, in high school, what if he quit when he didn't make the team? He would have never made Space Jam. And I love Space Jam. What will be your Space Jam? What will you create will make the world awesome? Nothing if you keep sitting there. That's why I'm talking to you today. This is your time. This is my time. It's our time. We can make every day better for each other. If we're all on the same team, let's start acting like it. We got work to do. We can cry about it. Oh, we can dance about it. We were made to be awesome. Let's get out there. I don't know everything. I'm just a kid. But I do know this. So everybody's due to give the world a reason to dance. So get to it. You just did a pep talk. Create something that will make the world awesome. Play ball.
Okay. He's so good, isn't he? You know, I think he's like 20 now. This was 10 years ago. I can go back 20 years and find messages that are absolutely relevant to today, right? So what does that mean? We keep dealing with the same stuff over and over and over. We were born for this time. And he said, create something awesome. So you want to create something awesome today? Yes. Great. All right. So let's start with this. Mark Nepo, he is one of my favorite authors because he writes and I just disappear in it. Oh. He says, our constant challenge is to accept how life wears away what doesn't matter until the miracle of life is revealed in everything. Once living this barely in the open, our work is to let the light of spirit come through, never thinking that we own it, but letting it use us to brighten and warm the hearts of others. Stop. Take a breath. This is the purpose of the human journey, to live openly and honestly until we become a source of uncovered life, and then life pours forth to renew us and all we meet. Right? We're not here to be perfect. We're not here to know it all. We're not here to show up and be done. We're here to continue to live and learn and grow and reveal and be, and really just come to understand the truth of ourselves. That's it. So what if that was good enough in this Western world of perfection and success? The only way it will be is if we do that. So in Western culture, peace is often defined in different ways. In the Western, peace is the absence of war. Did you know that? That's what we have come to agree that peace is. So I guess we'll never have it, huh? In Buddhism, it's Shanti, which means harmony. The indigenous people call it well-being. Shalom, my favorite, wholeness complete. That's peace. Salam, spiritual, social well-being, and in many African cultures, harmonious relationships and community. So let's talk about what is the opposite of peace to you? Just shout it out.
Conflict.
Preference.
What? Who said fear? Believe it or not, the actual opposite of peace is fear. Yeah. Not war, not conflict, not anything but fear. Does that give perspective? Okay, now, if that's what it is, that's what is really interesting about the fact that a lot of cultures except ours really talk about wholeness being peace. So if I'm not whole, then I must be afraid I'm not whole. If I don't feel harmonious, I must be in fear for whatever it is. And if I look to the outside of me and expect that peace will come when the outside I see is peace, then I'm going to feel peace. How long am I going to wait?
Eternity.
Exactly. Right? So that's an invitation to look at the fact that peace in our culture is, war is not the opposite of peace, but fear is. So what if every time you felt anything unlike peace and you saw and felt and understood, I should say conscious, that you understood you're feeling fear? How would that be?
Simpler. Helpful.
Helpful? Right? Okay. It's the getting conscious part that's the hard part, right? Because I go down the rabbit hole and, man, depending on how far I get down there, it's really hard to get back up, isn't it? Yeah. So here's what I'd like you, let's talk about this. As a group and in your group, facilitators, as a group discuss to you, how do you define peace? And then how does peace show up in the world for you? You ready? Please go. As a group, whole group. You have 4 minutes to finish your conversation. Okay, you got 2 minutes. You good? Okay, you have 1 minute. Okay, so if I can have everyone turn forward. I'm going to do a little logistics. It's hard to hear sometimes, isn't it? Okay, so one of the reasons the chairs are set up the way they are is one, so you can see this, but two, there are spaces between these chairs, or should be, between these front 4 chairs, okay? You get to turn around and talk with people. If you talk this way, they can't hear you. Can you? Can't hear a word. Because why? I can hear everything you're saying, by the way, over here. So for the folks in the front row seats, when you guys are talking as a group, turn around. Make enough space so you can turn around and talk with the group. Fair enough? And whatever works, do it. Just try not to move into their group or their group or their group, okay? So does that sound good? Okay, but we want you to hear. Otherwise, you're sitting there going, I can't hear a thing, and this sucks. Right? It sucks. So we don't want it to suck. We really don't. So do what you need to do for that hearing to happen. If you have a hearing issue, let everyone know and sit in a spot where you can hear better. Okay? And that may be nowhere. Sorry. Part of the issue, too, in this room is we have a hard surface, which means that sounds are bouncing off all over the place. Can't do a thing about that. That's why there's carpet up there. Right, so that we can have better sound up there, and that's kind of what we're doing. Okay, so now we're going to do some dyads. And what is a dyad? So twos. Right, it's dose. Triad is 3, and you would think it would be biad, wouldn't you? They would, wouldn't they? Maybe. Bi is 2, or, right? All right. So here's what you're going to talk about between pick a partner, pick someone you, and I might break you two up. I don't know what I'm going to do over here. I'm kidding. I don't care. I don't care what you do. What spiritual practice or habit brings peace to you? And if you don't have one, don't fake it. Say, I don't have one. Just say, I don't have one. I'm in complete chaos right now, or whatever it is. Be slightly vulnerable. Okay, so go ahead, and you have 8 minutes. Facilitators, that's 4 minutes a person.
I gotta keep time.
Do you want me to switch you at 4? All right, first person talks. All right, each person gets 4 minutes. The first person now has 2 minutes left. One minute 23.
You're doing good. It's a really engaged group.
I see that.
Yeah.
I see that.
I don't have to do anything.
Look at them. Everyone. Oh, I know. All right. All right, everyone. Hold on. Hold on. I've given you 8 minutes to talk about this, 4 minutes a person. If you get done early, talk about whatever you want. But you have now 4 minutes left. If the other person hasn't talked, it's their turn. Okay, you have about a minute left. So if you're done, would you raise your hand? Just let us know you're done. Now you've moved on to talk about last night, right? Where you're going for brunch after the annual meeting. Right. I know, I'm with you. All right, let's take about 15 seconds, make a closing remark, whatever you're at, wherever you're at. Facilitators, make sure you're talking to folks. And if you're done, look this way. Facilitators, let me know if your groups are done. You're done? You're done? Marjorie, are you done? You're done. Max, you're done. Tori, is your group done? Thank you, Rachel. I was like, where did Debbie Ann go? She's like, Waldo, where's she at? Okay, how was that?
Amazing.
Do you talk about peace very often?
No.
I know, it's the thing we want, and yet we don't talk about it. There's things I don't talk about, let's be clear. I don't talk about them because I don't know the answer sometimes, and I think that I have to have the answer. There's things I don't want to talk about because of the next topic. Lorraine?
This group is brilliant. It was amazing.
Awesome. You got a brilliant one too? How about this group? Don't ask Lauren. Don't ask Lauren. All right. So we're going to ask you for that insight later, but we're going to take you a little bit deeper. Now we're going to talk about my favorite topic. Do you want to hear my favorite topic? Janine is my favorite topic, for sure. But this is my favorite topic that's not easy to talk about. So I'm going to ask a quick question. How many of you are leaders or managers in your past, present? How many? How many of you have, now keep your hands up, and put your hands down if you don't have conflict as a leader. Oh, good. What are you doing wrong? What are you doing wrong? No, right? You're doing nothing wrong. You're doing nothing wrong. So the thing about it is in spiritual community, one of the things when we came together and created this community was to collaborate and to talk about things that are sometimes difficult. We operate from the care model, and the care model is specifically designed so that we can reduce the longevity of conflict. Not to eliminate conflict, to reduce the longevity of that conflict. Because if we stay in conflict, do you have an example of when we've stayed in conflict as a nation too long? Right? And we could talk about what that is, but I don't think there's one answer there, except fear. Right? And so what we do in spiritual community is part of the collaboration, we provide connection, experience, education, and service for you to experience as much conflict as you can.
Thank you. What a leader she is.
I know, I mean, seriously.
You are doing a good job.
It allows us the opportunity to connect, engage, learn, and practice what we teach here. That's what we do. It's not that we bring conflict into things. Because we're people bring conflict. That's what we do, and that's part of the learning. So when you learn something, here's my question often is that we celebrate conflict. We celebrate the experience we've had in conflict. Can I give you an example of how we celebrate conflict? This might seem completely unpatriotic, so forgive me. Why do we reenact wars as ways of celebrating the conflict we've been through? But why don't we celebrate how we've overcome it?
Are we trying to get the younger generation to learn from the past? Because I feel the older generations already learned that, but we didn't see that.
Did we?
We didn't live in that. Maybe we did.
I'm not debating any of it. I don't know why. But we love to celebrate conflict. We are warriors. We celebrate things. Our national anthem is about the war. I'm not saying it's a negative. I'm not saying anything. I'm asking us to just think about it. Sports is conflict, competition. Someone wins. Someone wins. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. What I'm saying is, are we paying attention? Do we celebrate what we learned in that conflict? Do we celebrate what we want to not do again? Do we do any of that? Just a question, because it's very much a Western culture idea. So I want you to just think about it. I don't know the answer to it. I'll get to you in a second, but you're going to get to explore some things around this. The experiences we have in community, what makes community so interesting is the fact that in experiences, our Sunday gathering provides a place for our community to hear short messages, connect, and have a somatic experience to open your heart. How many people do you see get up on that stage that are not the minister? Everyone, except me and or Rev Veronica. We do that so that people have an experience of not being perfect. So am I. I'm an example too. Melissa, do we get that one? Every freaking Sunday we get up and we go, what did I just do? Right? Music director. Our experiences, our service. Every Sunday we are encouraged, we are frustrated, we are inspired, we are enlivened. That's why you see so many people up there, because we're allowing the community to serve, to get this experience. When you're ready to not be perfect, let me know. We're going to put you up there. Education provides instruction on spiritual principles, practices, and tools to support our community and our spiritual lives so that we can do these things. Every time I engage with you, every time you engage with me, every time you engage with each other is an opportunity to go, what am I practicing? Do I practice seeing the face of God in everyone all the time? Absolutely not. I don't. But then I remember, right? We all get to remember that we're all here learning and growing and being together and figuring this out. And each one of these, whether it's service, connection, education, whatever it is, those are all opportunities for you to see how conflict operates in your life. Now, what makes it so interesting and life-changing is we practice what we learn. If we don't practice what we learn, and by the way, we're always practicing. When we remember that we're practicing, how powerful is that? It can be. It can be. We have successes, we make mistakes, we go through challenges, we come up with ideas, we learn ways to engage with one another, we learn ways of being more connected, to being more open, to be more welcoming, and then we walk out the door and what do? We get on the freeway. The freeway's the best place, right? We get on the freeway and someone cuts the line. I noticed up in Seattle, in Seattle, that they have signs everywhere that says, on the freeway, do not cut the line. They do. Do you think that works? No. How many of you are going to cut it anyway? They just feel more guilty about it and hope the cop's not watching. Because is it really a law or is it just a suggestion? Like stop signs. Right? Like stop signs. The question remains in being in community. I know, Ray, the stop sign. It's not a suggestion? You've never heard of the rolling California stop? I've done it. Right? The question is, how can we resolve our differences? Because being in community and being in conflict, peace, how many of you think conflict is the opposite of peace, which conflict is the result of fear, right? It's the result of fear of something. So fear is really the opposite, but conflict is usually what happens when I'm in fear. So we get to do that. I get to do that. We all get to practice that. So how can we resolve our differences from one generation to the next? How can we pass on collective wisdom? Being in this individual experience I call Bobbi. How can I pass on what I learn in a way that doesn't make you wrong? So here's what you get to do. You get 5 minutes, and I want you to be as honest as you can with this question. Do not hold back. Try to be respectful, though. When I say don't hold back, be respectful, right? Doesn't mean you smack the person across from you, right? For those of you going, can I smack this person? How have you seen communities generally react to conflict? Constructive or destructive? Okay? Think about your life being in community. You could talk about this community. How have you seen communities normally react to conflict? And then I want you to ask yourself in your group, what would you say is the main cause? You only get one, you don't get four. Think about what's the major cause of conflict in a community. Have you ever been in a community with conflict?
I've been in a family.
Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. Right. That could be your community. Is that conflict, has it been constructive or destructive? Sometimes. See how we always go destructive? Doesn't have to be. So just have a conversation. I've left it open-ended. Talk about what you want with that question. Think about it. How does it hit you? If you go to destructive, think about that. If I go to constructive, if I go both, if I go nowhere. Are you ready? Okay. You're going to talk as a group. And you have 5 minutes. I know. Oh, I think that's plenty of time for that one. You have 1 minute. Okay, let's all face this way if you can. But you're going to get back together, so just turn your bodies a little bit. You don't have to turn your chair. Lori, we're like the same age. '62. Okay. You're my elder? I'm scared what that means. Are you in charge? Yeah, come on up. No. Because I'll. So, how was that conversation? We don't talk about conflict very often, do we? We talk in conflict, Lauren, aren't you an attorney that deals with conflict? Yes. Max, isn't conflict the core of business? Pretty much, right? Right? Here too, by the way, this is a core business, is dealing in conflict in our community. Whether it's mild conflict to major conflict, it shows up. Every leader in this community will deal with it, every one of us. So I'm going to ask you to pair up and talk about this conversation here, which I think is kind of important with respect to, there are many solutions to addressing conflict. There is not just one. Would you agree with me? Yes. Right? And each one of you have a different way of dealing with conflict. And you don't need me telling you how to deal with conflict. Would you agree to that? Sort of? You'd like help? Okay. So if you could think of a spiritual practice that supports you and how you address conflict, that's one. But the second thing, too, is there's principles such as peace. Peace is kind of an answer to conflict because why? It's not fear. There's the easy answer. But I can explore what peace is and how in peace I'm feeling and or acting out. I have to do that with my family all the time. And my conflict, not theirs. My conflict. Come up here if you have something to say. John, do you have this mic on?
I think peace promotes communication, and then you can really work with it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's a brilliant community, brilliant community. I was with two things.
Can it be quick?
Yes, the first one is at 14 in the youth group for Huntington. I was laid this whole thing about world peace at 14, world peace. It was a lot, but then they went back to what Ernest Holmes taught, which is that my responsibility is to be peaceful and loving with everyone I come into contact with. That's it. That's the whole bag. It's just the people I come. Don't worry about what's going on in Ghana. Don't worry about just who I come into contact with. That's where I get to start. That's where my work lies. And for peace, I'm present with this, which is that before I have any kind of a breakthrough, I've got to have a breakdown. Typically, not 100% of the time, but so much of the time, I've got to have a breakdown before I can have a breakthrough. That seems to be the pattern, and it feels like cause and effect a little. Thanks.
Who else? Give me a.
You can hear me without a microphone.
But the people online cannot.
Oh, I'm sorry. My spiritual practices.
Hold on.
My spiritual practices for peace are ask questions, listen, and don't provide answers.
Sounds like an attorney, doesn't it? Who else? What other principle could contribute to resolving conflict? See, right there.
Okay. Kindness. Practice kindness, and it really works.
It really works. Do you know what the definition of kindness is? Immediate care. Immediate care.
I've got one. I think we're finding where we agree, the common ground we have.
Common ground.
Moving backwards from the positions to the place that we agree.
Sticking on something.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Anyone else? Over here, Marjorie.
When I was working, what I found when people were really butting heads and when tension was really high, I used humor. I threw out an irrelevant remark that got everybody laughing, and you wouldn't believe how the tension went down and out and people became reasonable again.
Okay.
So for me, it's humor.
Humor.
Okay, it seems to me that conflicts can actually shine a light on something that I hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
And maybe look and see where I am. And it's being open rather than judging. If we start judging, the fear comes out.
It sure does. Thank you, Marjorie.
I fully accept that all personal and collective issues and problems, as Eckhart Tolle says, are the result of unbridled ego. And that's why I think that the spiritual principle to work with, and it touches upon exactly what Keith said, that which arises out of maintaining and embracing a sense of unity and oneness, and therefore that would lead you to finding what you have in common, and so that's the oneness that deals with the unbridled ego, which is that which knows fear, which works with duality, as in me and you, us and them, and comparing, and beginning to have the resentments of those comparisons and
Yes.
such. Yeah.
Thank you, Travis, very well. Janet?
I would say starting with the assumption that everyone is doing their best and wants the best outcome for the greater good. Even though we might approach it differently, deep down, we want the same things, which is a happy community.
Yeah. Rev Juanita?
I tried so hard to avoid conflict, and then when I heard conflict is inevitable, that really made sense to me. And so my practice is to be vulnerable when it's pointed out that I'm in error, that I did something, is to be vulnerable enough to have that kind of conversation that I can share my truth and the other person can as well. And I think that leads to peace for me.
Thank you, Rev Juanita. Tori?
Hello. Yes, I think our group came up with an idea that we want to listen and be heard at the same time. So opening your ears to hear, and also feeling vulnerable and open enough and safe enough to be heard. And we use the experience of our community right now and how we had individual conflicts and we came together in such an amazing way. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Tori. Dawn?
An awareness that opinions are often not based in fact and not changeable, and arguing over them is a waste of time and causes conflict.
Patty?
Hi there. Peppermint Patty, yeah. Anyway, it's me feeling oneness and unity with that other person and loving connection. Like my sister and her family in North Carolina, we're the opposite politically, but then I just keep thinking, she's my sister. I love her unconditionally. So,
Thank you. Thank you. A last one. Anyone have a last comment?
I came up with the example that this community, what we're doing right now, was a result of conflict. We had a conflict because COVID hit. Nobody could do anything the way it was being done before.
Yeah.
Communities everywhere splitting up, and we found a solution of that conflict to come together and learn something new. And this kind of learning in these groups is radical. And it would not have come about, I don't think, without the huge conflict that we all experienced in the pandemic and everything that came around it. So in this case, it ended up being very positive through a lot of hard work.
Thank you for that, Pam. Pam just talked about exactly one piece of this, which is, do we focus on the conflict and how I felt in the conflict, or can I move at some point to what did we learn out of it? What did we get out of it? Because here's the truth of how we learn. We don't learn when things are great. We just don't. Because we love that. Man, we're just cruising and coasting, and then something shows up, and I'm like, ah, crap. You know, that's where we get to learn about our shadow. And that's where we clean things up, is our shadow is the place we clean it up. It doesn't mean we did anything wrong either. That's not what that means. It just means there's something in my way. Can I give compassion and grace to myself that there's just something in the way? That's it. And I just oversimplified it, but our ego really just gets in there and makes it murky, doesn't it? So there's the opportunity. All right, so we're going to do something. So how do we build a peaceful and sustain peace in our community? That doesn't mean, does that mean we won't have conflict? Are you thrilled? Well, wait, maybe. What if that's how we learn? Are you willing to at least accept that that's part of it? Okay. I mean, because that's the deal, right? All right. So you have your groups, so we're going to have you come up with some ideas. So first, I'm going to assign you which question you're going to answer as a group. Facilitators, you're going to write down the answers. I want 2 or 3 ideas. Shh. Sorry, but you can't hear me and if you're talking. So I'm going to give you a question. You can debate with me whether you like that question or not. I might give you a different one, but I might not, because we got to get through this. So the first one is, how can we proactively build a peaceful atmosphere within our community? Not to avoid conflict, right? What ongoing practices can we implement to support peace and understanding? How can we hold ourselves accountable first as individuals and as a community for maintaining peace? Doesn't mean not having conflict. What can I bring or commit to in bringing peace into the community personally? What would I like the community to express to promote peace? Okay, so group 1, let's give you what can I bring or commit to in bringing peace into the community personally. Can you do that one? Okay. What can I? How can we proactively build a peaceful atmosphere within our community? Okay. How can we hold ourselves accountable first as individuals and as community for maintaining peace? Yes? It is a hard one. How many groups do I have? 8. Great. Did I give you one? Nope. What would I like the community to express to promote peace? What would I like the community to express to promote peace? You will meet as a group and come up with 2 or 3 ideas. What can I bring, commit to bringing peace into the community personally? Okay? And the last one is, what ongoing practices can we implement to support peace and understanding? Which one you want? How about, what would I like the community to promote to bring peace?
What would I like the community? The last one? What would I like the community?
It's that one or the one next to it? So for example, what do you think we should do as a community to promote peace? Okay? All right, there you go. All right, folks. You have 8 minutes. in her hair. You have 4 minutes. Two to three. You're done? Good. Okay, you have a minute and a half. Hopefully you're writing them down. And when you're complete, just turn your chairs around so you can face the front when you're complete. Because this is it. Okay. Facilitators, have someone speak, which might be you, and someone write, which may be you. But you need yourself and someone else. Identify someone who has nice handwriting. That would not be me. So I really have to focus, right, Florian? Exactly. All right. So, Debbie Ann, are you ready to go? So right here, Debbie Ann, who speaks stands here. John will need a mic.
No one wants to write in my group. No one has good penmanship.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
But I have lots, yeah, okay.
So here's what I'm asking. Take 1 minute. You can say what your question is, but how much you want to bet that no matter what you came up fits all of them? All right, shall we see? All right. What's your ideas?
Okay, what can I commit to in bringing peace into a community? Open communication, open mind and heart, practicing non-judgment, being present, being curious.
Okay, that's a lot of ideas. Just kidding.
Okay. Being curious and open.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the last one was seeing good in everyone. So that's bringing, oh, and volunteering or serving. Sorry, that's the last one. That's the last one, Reverend Bobby. Serving or volunteering.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Group 1. Number 2. Group 2. No, wait, Group 2. Are you Group 2?
No, we're group.
Oh, okay. That's okay. If I do it, everybody just gets...
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Is someone writing for you?
Oh, I wrote
Or
it
am I
down.
doing it?
You could, okay.
Thank you. You saw my handwriting.
Ours are very practical and simple. And that is in a group. What ongoing practices can we implement to support peace and understanding? And we did that in our community here.
Let's go.
So breathe when in conflict.
Breathe. Just breathe.
Everybody take a deep breath and out. Listening.
Listen.
And go back to the person you're having conflict with. If somebody comes to you and says, did you know what Reverend Bobby did? We'll go tell Reverend Bobby, don't tell me.
That never happens, by the way.
That's it. The care model.
Go to the person you have a conflict with.
Go to the person you have a conflict
Gotcha.
with, not
All
a
right.
third person, or as our Beth said, triangulating. Don't do triangulating.
Okay. Thank you. Group 2. Group 3, you're up next.
Right here,
Okay?
Group 3.
Gotcha.
Well, we were like the same as Group 1, amazing.
Is there anything different?
Yes. Welcoming, greeting, non-judgmental. Oh, welcoming, greeting, non-judgmental.
Stop. She said greeting. You got it?
Trying to remember names.
You need to know the question? Just kidding.
What can I bring? Okay, this group loves to get a dialogue, to learn to know each other, and they would like accountability reviews on what they've been working on. And they want to show their light to shine, and they want to show up consistently, and being very much in the present in conversation and not interrupting others.
Be present.
Be present, and bring my yoga.
Bring my yoga.
And just put yourself out there.
Okay, bring my yoga. That is a new one. Okay, Group 4, you're up.
She's going to do the writing. I'm going to do the repping.
You want to have a break?
Sure. Okay, we are considering the first question, how can we proactively build a peaceful atmosphere within our community? So we have as our top 3, and then I'll do a little bit of splaining. The first one is listening. The second is personal responsibility. And the third is practicing core beliefs and values. Because we were coming up with things like taking personal responsibility means practicing the core beliefs yourself, where we pulled out practicing core beliefs and values as more community. Like you can't be in community without peace in yourself. And that peace...
Can you?
Well, you can, but...
I'm going to ask you a question about that.
Yes.
Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. If I come in this community, how many people come in here sometimes without peace?
Sure.
So, what could you offer to them if they come in here and they don't feel peace?
Prayer, safe space, extraordinary respect, safety, compassion, accountability. There we go. Yeah. So humor, not taking things so seriously, non-judgmentalness.
Here comes Eileen.
All right.
We just want to make sure we don't expect you to come in here because you feel good.
Yes. We good?
And if you feel good, great. Right?
Yes.
Because if you don't, talk to Gina. She's a practitioner.
That's right. I'll make you feel real good.
Number 5. Now, we got to get moving, right? Because we got an annual meeting to get to. I'm holding it up. Holding it up. Give me your name.
Chase.
Chase.
Hi.
Hi. I've heard all about you.
Oh.
It's all good.
Cool.
Just like, of course it is, right?
Great. Some of it's already been said, but parts that haven't is I'm okay, you're okay. This is for number 5, the what would I like the community to express to promote peace. Seeing the loving essence in self and other. Heartfelt listening. We were really excited about that one.
Yeah.
Heartfelt listening. Allowing and honoring everyone to have their own truth. Be curious, not judgmental, according to Ted Lasso. Yeah, that I haven't watched it yet. I'm sorry.
Oh, you got to watch it.
I've got to watch it.
Thank you. All right, who's the next group? What were you? 5, 6? 6? Now, you two, make it quick.
I can talk faster than he can write.
Talk.
Okay, two sports analogies.
That's already not quick.
Well, I'm waiting for him to have his pencil ready. It was a fill-in. Yellow cards are okay, no red cards.
Oh, you guys know what that is? We'll tell you later.
You can. Everybody can call a timeout if they need one.
I'll pick that up.
We're already using it, but anybody can say, take a big breath anytime they want to. Just showing up.
Yeah, just show up.
Seek to be
understood.
Seek to understand before you give your understanding.
Seek to understand.
Understand first.
Yeah.
And then keep reinforcing the 4 agreements. I had a great group.
You did. All right, who's next? Tori, 7, 8. No, I just want you to tell me.
Donna's writing. We went on a little less general. We went a little more specific.
Perfect.
And our question was, what would I like the community to express to promote peace?
How many ideas do you have?
We have probably 4, but quick.
Okay.
Quick. And they're a little different. So first one would be welcome to those who come in the door and being inclusive. The second was let's listen to all sides of the conflict. I think that was spoken already. And then third would be, I'll give her a second. Listen to all sides. Or look at all sides, that's fine. Yeah. And then we had suggestions about community outreach programs. How do we want to show up outside of our center to demonstrate peace? And my idea was let's wear T-shirts and then people say, where are you from? And then we can tell them to get here. Anyway, we went down that rabbit hole a little bit.
That's marketing, right?
Yeah, we'll throw some marketing in with it. Why not, right? And then lastly, maybe some verbiage or signage that we use here at the center to remind people of peace.
Has anybody seen the totem outside?
Yeah, that marquee's awesome.
What's the totem for?
There it is.
So maybe we should do a little education on that.
That's it. That's
Right?
That's all we came up with.
Great, thank you. Here comes group 8. Christiane and Lauren.
Okay, so we did what would we like our community to do to promote peace? So in cultivating love within ourselves, we're hoping to cultivate it within each other and create like a rippling effect so that we can shine our light out into the world. And then share what we've learned and how we've learned to cultivate peace. Like we can share that with others that don't practice our same spirituality here. And then just coming together to resolve conflicts, so kind of addressing it head on.
Nice. Spoken like a good attorney. Awesome, thank you. So what'd you think of these ideas? A lot of wisdom, a lot of simple wisdom, right? A lot of simple wisdom. Yeah, you guys don't need, sometimes, like when we think about when we explore something, it's just taking the time to sit and consider it, express it with someone else. Because if it all stays in here, then where's it going to go, right? And listen to one another and hear other ideas. And that's what we do in community, right? It's why we do Care Circle Sunday, so we have a chance to talk to one another about some really important things, like peace, like conflict, like what does peace really mean, and how important it's actually really important. Conflict is this, and guess what happens to stones when we do this? And? Yeah. That seems to be part of us, doesn't it? A lot. I know. Okay, we're going to close this up. You got a card. Not yet. Well, your facilitator got a card. This is our spiritual practice going forward until the next Care Circle Sunday. Remember I told you about Mark Nepo? Man, the guy's a masterful writer. He's just super great. So he says, it seems that storms are meant to break our habits. Until forced open by experience and soothed by love, we have no choice but to become students of what it means to be alive. Mark Nepo. Here's your practice. This month, at the beginning of each week, where in my life am I trapped in my convictions or stubborn about something I believe in? Take a deep breath. I heard a little like, oh, somewhere in the room. Is there an update or a refresh to a belief I'm just so totally attached to? What is it that Anne Lamott says when something doesn't work? Anybody know? Unplug it. Unplug it and just start all over, right? Where is this belief limiting me? Guaranteed, if we hang on to something and we say that's true and that's always true, it's limiting us. And then each day, ask yourself this: where in my life do I believe I am whole? There's an extra I in there. I like eyes. Where in my life? If we don't ask ourselves where we're whole, we will just continue to think we're not. What am I growing in feeling whole? Just think about it today. Today, what am I growing in feeling whole? And the last one is, where in my life would I like to grow in feeling whole? Ask yourself those 3 questions in the morning. Okay? Because I'm going to come back to shalom. What does shalom mean? Whole. That's peace. Shalom is peace, and the meaning of peace is whole. Love that. So anybody have anything closing they want to say that they didn't get to say? We're going to give just a couple of folks a chance. Maria, up here, please. Remember, we have folks online who can't hear you.
Thank you. So how often do we hear or even say wage peace? We hear wage war a lot, but I think wage peace needs to gain some momentum.
Okay, thank you, Maria. Anyone else? Take us home? She took us home. She took us home. Okay, very good. So let's just do a quick close. So take a deep breath. And let's get the offering baskets out. Thank you so much. Before you leave, you have an evaluation. If you could just tell the board how I did today and how you did today. So as the offering goes around, I'm going to ask you would you do something with me as the offering basket goes around? Would you be willing to do that? Are you ready? Ready? You're going to repeat this with me. Let's do a little chant. I am peace. I am peace. I am peace. Keep going. I am. Whisper. Peace. A little louder. I am peace. I am peace. I am peace. A little louder. I am peace. I am peace. I am peace. I am peace. Now, I am whole. 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 Now let it fade. So we just close today. We anchor in peace. We allow conflict to be part of peace, knowing that conflict teaches us. We allow that conflict to smooth the edges, to allow us to see where that we're human. We don't have to be perfect, and that life is okay, and showing up is good enough. We accept that for this community today. We allow whatever we learn to go forward, otherwise we're not really cleaning up. We learn, we clean up, we keep going. I just hold this for this community, every person here, and so it is. Amen. Thank you all.
Is this on? Yeah. Yes, fill out your evaluations, please. Go get some food when it's set out, and then come back to listen to our annual meeting.
Could we
Thank
have
you, everybody.
Could we have a few people help us set the chairs back up? If you're able physically. Yes. Thank you, Rachel.